Hello and welcome back to another Wednesday WRWC live stream. It's Sammy Joe Smith and I coming to you from Wyoming and Texas. Hey,
Hey,
Sammy Joe.
everybody.
Oh, man, we are actually on time. We were ahead of schedule. We weren't waiting for anything. And so we're happy to be here with you today. And we are going to just slow down and visit like we're visiting with somebody who knows nothing about how to participate in the Women's Rodeo World Championships and talk to you about the different paths that you can qualify into the WRWC. As a reminder, the Women's Rodeo World Championships are going to be held November 3rd through the 7th at South Point in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're holding it in conjunction with the PBR World Finals. And it's going to be an amazing event. If you haven't gotten your stalls yet, we're going to talk to you about how to get your stalls. If you are on the WCRA leaderboard for segment W20, which is how you qualify in the WCRA leaderboard, and you would like to participate in the open side of it, we're going to tell you how to do that. If you're not on the leaderboard and you want to enter the Women's Rodeo World Championships, anybody can enter. If you're over the age of 13, you can enter the heeling, heading, breakaway roping, and barrel racing. And so, Sammy Joe, do you want to add anything else to this setup for this event, for what we're going to talk about today?
Any women can compete in this event, ages 13 years old and up. JD broke down those 4 disciplines. It's a $750,000 guaranteed payout. There'll be a $20,000 all-around bonus. And we've had a lot of people ask, we're getting closer to the dates now. Tell me when I need to be there. And really quick, let's talk about that. So the qualifying rounds for this event will be November 3rd through the 5th. And the main event, which is really where that money is, where everybody's trying to get to, will be November 6th and 7th. And so we cannot completely finalize the schedule until entries close on October 18th. That way we can time everything correctly, put the correct, days and times, everything into the schedule. But if you're planning to go to the Women's Rodeo World Championship, for sure you're going to want to be there November 3rd through the 5th for the qualifying rounds, and hope that you'll stay the 6th and 7th for that main event as well.
Absolutely. And since we have this up here, a reminder, each discipline, we call heading, heeling, breakaway, barrel racing a discipline. Each discipline is going to pay $60,000 for first. And as Sammy Joe said at the top, a $20,000 all-around bonus and a beautiful saddle by Coach Saddlery. We are so thankful to them that they got involved and are building an all-around saddle for the inaugural Women's Rodeo World Championships. And as you can see on the screen, it pays pretty deep. There's a lot of money to be had. There's a lot of opportunity to win money. And so today, what we're really going to focus on, and I'll get rid of this here.
So JD, really quick before, so for the payout, what JD was just showing, that is for the main event only. There's also money in those qualifying rounds, the 3rd through the 5th. But again, we can't finalize what those numbers are until entries close as well. But just know that there is money up for grabs in every single round that you're competing in. But the main event is where that big money is, right? So definitely good to see those numbers.
Yes, it's awesome. A lot of money available. We're going to cover the entry format, entry guidelines, and upcoming fast track, expanded point qualifying events. And so we're going to talk about all of that today. So what do you want to talk about now, Sammy Joe?
So we have updated the progression formats, and I think let's dive into there. So JD, if you want to share my screen.
Absolutely.
What we have done here, so if you go to, anybody can go to womensrodeoworldchampionship.com. It'll take you up here. This is the home page of it. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and this, again, as you're scrolling, we've got all kinds of FAQs. What is the payout? How do you earn points for the leaderboard pool? So a lot of great information you can read here at womensrodeoworldchampionship.com. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. But as you go down to the bottom, this is where you'll see these progression formats. And so we just updated these today. Nothing in the actual progression format changed, but what we did was we added these competition order charts. And you'll see too in the top left-hand corner, this, you can actually now start planning to know what rounds will run in what order. So we just want to talk through how this, for each discipline, how the event format will be ran. So we're going to start with the barrel racing. Now keep in mind the barrel racing format is a little different from the roping events because we're trying not to make the horses run multiple times over a single day. So let's just dive right into it. The fast track pool up here is number 1. Fast track pool is the 16 up to 16 athletes that have qualified from those nominate when you're in, or we're starting to call those fast track events. So those girls will run first. Now, at the beginning of our live, we talked about how the qualifying rounds will be ran November 3rd, which is a Tuesday, through the 5th. I do want to just point out here, because of trying to save these horses and not have them run multiple times in a single day, those of you that are these 16 girls competing in the fast track pool in the barrel racing, mark your calendars. You're going to want to plan to get into Vegas on Monday, the 2nd, November 2nd, because we will run this fast track round that evening. From this round, the top 4 fastest times from one run will advance right into the main event that starts on that Friday, November 6th. The remaining 12, right, potentially if we have all 16, will then fall back into this leaderboard pool. So round 2 will be, the second order of competition will be round 1 from this WCRA leaderboard pool. So number 5 through 64 from the leaderboard will make their first run. Then we actually jump over, and any girls entered in the Open to the World pool will run their first round. We jump back to the leaderboard and go to round 2. They'll run, and then we jump back to the Open to the World, and in that qualifying round, they'll make their second run. Then once we make it through those 2 rounds of the qualifying pools, we have on the leaderboard side the top 18. So that's from the 2 rounds, not the aggregate, the top 18 fastest times progress into this Elite 18 round. Let's stay on this leaderboard side here. So the top 18, they go to the Elite 18, and then any of the remaining from this qualifying round of the leaderboard that did not progress out of that top 18, they will now go into this redemption round. And then the Elite 18 will make 1 run. The top 6 fastest times from that round advance into the main event, the top 24. Then we go back, like I said, we're over here now in this Open to the World pool. Those from the qualifying round, again, the top 18 fastest times, not from the aggregate, just overall fastest times, move on to the progressive round. Now here is where anybody from the qualifying rounds that don't advance go also into the redemption round. So the non-winners from the leaderboard, the non-winners from the Open to the World qualifying rounds go into this redemption round. I do want to point out we have the Challenger and the Pro pools inside of the Open to the World qualifying rounds. So we'll jump really quick because I think this is important. And again, if we're going fast, you have questions, drop them in the comments, we can address it. But it all is this big web coming together, right? And I want to talk about it as it pertains. So in regards to the pro and challenger pools, in order to be a challenger in the barrel racing right here, if your earnings are below these amounts in the calendar year, you're considered a challenger for all three. So 2020, 30,000, 2019, 30,000, 2018, 30,000. We have partnered with Equistat to run these numbers as of September 16th. If you have questions whether or not you are a challenger, you can email our team at support@WCRArodeo.com and we can tell you whether or not you're a challenger or a pro. So I'm going to jump back over to this progression model. Here in a little bit, I'll tell you how you can enter as a challenger versus a pro, but let's stay focused on this, finishing this format of the event. So from those qualifying rounds, anybody that didn't advance out of the top 18 fastest times will move into this redemption round. There'll be one run, and the top 10 fastest times move into the progressive round. Also, from the Elite 18, from that one run, remember the top 6 move into the main event. So the remaining 12 also go into
my bad.
Yeah, you're fine.
There we go.
Cool. So the bottom 12 from that Elite 18 also move into the progressive round. So you've got 18 that move from the qualifying rounds of the Open to the World, 10 from the redemption round, that's 28, plus another 12. So that's, JD?
That would be 30.
Yeah.
18 and 10 is 28. 40. It's 40.
Thanks.
Yes.
40 in that progressive round, one run, and the top 10 fastest times go into the main event. So that is the barrel racing progression chart. That is the format of the event. As we talked about up here and up in the top, all of those qualifying rounds will happen for barrel racing, the 2nd through the 5th. And then this main event down here, the 24 round, will happen on the 6th. And then the 12 round and the 6th round will happen on the 7th.
Great. And Sammy Joe, I know that it says it on the sheet up there, but in order to participate in the redemption round in both the barrel racing and the roping events, is there a re-entry fee? Is there a fee for that?
Yeah, so that's, now that we've talked about the progression, let's talk about how to enter, right? And how to actually get into these events. And to answer your question first, JD, to get into the redemption round, it is a $500 re-entry fee.
Right.
Right now, to enter the Open to the World pool, any barrel racer can enter that a maximum of 2 times, and the entry fee is $750. Entries close October 18th. And then for the leaderboard side, there is no entry fee for the top 64. We will close the leaderboard. The cutoff to earn points is October 11th. So that is when we will shut off everything. We'll start working the leaderboard, make sure we have all the results in. We'll do disputes. And once we finalize the top 64, then we will open entries for the top 64 to declare that they do want to compete in that pool. And that'll be on October 20th through the 22nd. And those that are in this fast track pool, if you're also in the leaderboard pool, I want to talk about this really quick. So the fast track happens first. Those that advance that are in the top 4 that advance to the main event, you now are no longer eligible to compete in any other qualifying round. So if you entered the Open to the World and you advanced out of the fast track, we will refund you those $750 fees. Where we won't refund, and this is, I think people are maybe getting a little confused about this. If you are going to be, say I were 55th on the leaderboard, I know I'm going to be in the leaderboard pool, but I also want to enter the Open to the World pool today and pay $750, I'm declaring I'm going to compete in both the leaderboard pool and the Open to the World pool. So don't enter the Open to the World thinking if I don't get in, then they'll refund me my $750 from the Open to the World. The only time we refund the Open to the World entry fees is if you have not started your competition in the Open to the World pool and you advance to the main event and you're no longer eligible to compete in the Open to the World.
And that's why, Sammy Joe, if you can zoom in just a little bit, because my eyes are a little bit old. But scroll down a little. So it makes sense to me now that you have the little numbers in the upper left. So I'm going to compete in the Open. If you'd scroll up a little bit, please. If I'm in all the way, there you go. If I'm competing in the WCRA leaderboard path, as the number 2 there in the upper left in the leaderboard 5 through 64, I'll compete in one go around there. And then if I'm entered in the Open to the World, I'll compete once in the Open path qualifier round. And then I'll come back over and compete as number 4 there and run my second go around competition in the leaderboard. So you won't know if you have for sure qualified into the main event out of the WCRA leaderboard before you run one go round in the Open to the World pool. So that makes complete sense to me. Did I say that correctly?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody has questions about how that works, again, drop your questions in the comments, or you can email our team directly at support@wcrarodeo.com. But biggest thing is, if you've got 3 great horses that you know you can bring to Vegas with you to run at this event, you can plan on running 1 in the leaderboard pool and 2 on the Open to the World side and have 3 chances of getting into that main event. You can only compete in the main event 1 time. So whatever of those 3 horses ran the best pattern consistently, you can then choose to run that horse in the main event. But yeah, you have up to 3 chances to get in, plus the redemption round, right? If you choose to and everybody can enter the redemption round 1 time as well. That's an important detail also. Cool.
Judy, you may have answered her question already, but let's just throw it up there and just go through it.
Yeah. So if a qualifier in the fast track 16 doesn't make the top 4 and goes to the leaderboard track, they aren't separated by pro challenger, correct? The contestant would have to pay for an extra entry in the world group as a challenger. So yeah, Judy, great question. The fast track pool and the leaderboard pool are not separated by the pro and challenger. The only pool or the only round of competition that's separated with the pro and challenger is that Open to the World over here, this qualifying round. Once you advance into the progressive round or even go down into the redemption round, then everybody is competing against each other once again. We're introducing the pro and the challenger just in these qualifying rounds here. I think it's a great opportunity to kind of get warmed up into the competition and get a feel for being inside of those pro or challenger pools, as we do hope to continue, kind of starting that tiering process in the sport of rodeo by doing that. But great question.
And I think we just want to make sure your last sentence of your question, the contestant would have to pay for an extra entry in the world group. I'm assuming that you mean the Open to the World group, Judy. You might still be with us. If that is true, then yes, you would actually be entering ahead of time, and we'll go through those dates and everything on entrytool.com. But want to make sure.
So those competing in this fast track pool do not pay an entry fee. Those competing in the leaderboard pool do not pay an entry fee, but those competing in the Open to the World on this side do pay right now that $750 entry fee. And so Yeah. And as they, you know, then the redemption round is that $500 buyback.
And Judy did confirm that is correct. So good.
Yeah. Hey,
great question.
JD, can we take a little intermittent break? Have you go over open stalls and how to reserve stalls? I'm going to go run and grab my computer charger really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pull that up. Let me share my screen really quick. So open stalls is where you're going to go to rent your stalls, and the Women's Rodeo World Championships is available to, I'm logged in as an admin here, so let me log out. And oops, I'm still logged in as an admin. Here we go. So basically go to openstalls.com and you will be able to see the Women's Rodeo World Championships right here. And you will be able to just basically click on book. And it's a flat fee for 5 nights. And you can check, you'll see all the details there. 4 bags of shavings are included in your stalls. And just select the number of stalls that you want. Here's 1 stall. If you 2 stall mats per add-on, so I want 1 set of stall mats, and I shouldn't need any more shavings, so 0. And basically there's your cart total, and you just select checkout and enter your payment details right there. If you have any special requests, like I have a stud, you know, you obviously want to put that in there. I have a fainting goat. Come by after the qualifying round to see the show. I don't know. I'm not very funny. Sammy Joe's gone, so nobody's here to laugh at me. But anyway, you can put any details in there if you have special requests. I'd like, you know, my traveling partner's handicap. I need to be close to the handicap situation. So anyway, you've got all these things here, and then it just gives you the details, and you basically confirm. And if your payment details are in here, you can click submit. So that is pretty simple how that works. Sammy Joe's computer died, so she's trying to get it charged back up. What I want to show you right now is some entry information. Let me pull that up here. Just some entry dates and where you're going to go to enter. Let me pull that up really quick. So just a reminder on these dates. The nominations are open right now through October 11th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. And, you know, just for a reminder, I know that everybody knows this, but actually get this here. You go to app.wcrarodeo. Goodness. That's how you nominate an event, and that will earn you a spot on our leaderboard. Most of you ladies know how to do all of that. A good reminder, though, is that for those of you who are competing, I'm going to throw this up here. For those of you who are competing in mixed team ropings at regional rodeo finals, you know, you can absolutely nominate those events and earn points. So I know a lot of you gals head really good. You rope with your husband. You heel great. nominate these events, nominate these finals, because it's not that hard to get on the leaderboard and qualify for the Women's Rodeo World Championships. And I'd love to see a mixed girl, mixed lady, one of you qualify. So as Sammy Jo mentioned, once the nominations close October 11th at essentially midnight, then the entries for the WCRA path, this WCRA leaderboard path, is going to open October 20th through the 22nd. And you'll go to entrytool.com to enter there. And then right now, the open path entries, what we showed you a little bit ago on the far right, open path entries are open right now. And we're at the full price entries at $750. And they close on October the 18th at 11:59 p.m. So just a reminder, if you're on the WCRA leaderboard and in the top 64, you can still enter the open side 2 times. If you are not on the WCRA leaderboard, by all means, if you live in California or Nevada or Arizona and you haven't competed in the WCRA leaderboard, you haven't nominated, but you want to come and compete in the heading, heeling, breakaway roping, or barrel racing, your horse is really running all of the sudden and you want to come join us for the inaugural WRWC event, we would love to have you. So basically you go to entrytool.com and it's open right now. You can go to entrytool.com and enter the WRWC. Let me actually go in there right now. You go to entrytool.com. Rhett is kind of fun. Oops, I'm not showing it to you. It'd be nice if I showed it to you. I think Sammy Jo's coming back in. But RET stands for Rodeo Entry Tool. It's kind of fun. Let me add Sammy Jo back in. Hey, Sammy Jo.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Just testing you, JD.
Yeah, geez, you make me nervous. I got to take this thing on. So I was just showing them how to enter.
Perfect.
Right here. And so it's really simple. You just go right here. There, you have an opportunity to enter the pro pool right here. As Sammy Jo showed you a little bit ago, the breakdown in the barrel racing through Equistat or Equistat, how you would fall. And then if you have any questions on that, as she said, you can reach out to support. Let me throw that up here right now. And her team will help you identify where you are in barrel racing, heading, heeling, and breakaway roping. But basically, if you're a challenger, slip right down here, click on challenger, and there's your disciplines. I want to enter the challenger as a header, and I can put my partner in there or not. I can pay their entry fees or not. But if I wanted to enter Sammy Jo, there you are. You and I are going to rope together. I can add us in there. I didn't pay your fees, but I can view my cart. And it's really simple. I can just check out right there. So I agree to all that.
For the team roping, to be a challenger, it's capped at a 5 for both the header and heeler, and it's a 9.5 team. So keep that in mind. If you do have to have your global handicap, and that is how we're determining, obviously, the challenger pool is based on your global handicap number. So make sure you're a global handicap member when you do enter the challenger pool. And again, if you have questions, you can reach out to our team and we can help you verify that as well.
Yeah. But anyway, entrytool.com. It's super slick, super easy. What do you want to talk about now? I did pull up the challenger and pro pool sheet, but I don't know that off of the progression model, but let's
finish. Let's go back. If you'll let me share again.
Absolutely.
So we talked about the barrel racing progression chart, excuse me. So now I'm going to scroll down here to the team roping and breakaway roping. This one, and we'll walk through it, but the main difference between, and let me just zoom in a little more, but between the barrel racing and the roping events is that there's more runs, and we don't bounce back and forth between the leaderboard and the open. It all runs like completes, and then we go on to the next. So for the roping, fast track is first. Again, those that have qualified in from those nominate when you're in events, up to 16 athletes will run 2 runs. The top 4 on the 2-run aggregate advance into, again, that main event. The non-winners then bump over into the leaderboard. And something for the barrel racing I didn't mention, but for all disciplines, this is really important. For those of you that have that fast track qualification, if you're in the top 64, you will run 1 time in this leaderboard pool, and you'll run in the place where your rank is in the top 64. So if you don't advance, and like right here, how it says non-winners come over here, that doesn't mean you get 2 runs now in the leaderboard pool, you get 1. So if you're in the top 64, you'll run in where your ranking is on the leaderboard, or if you're not inside the top 64, you'll then be added. So that's how that works. So again, the top 4 from the nominate when you're in fast track go to the main event. The 1 through 4 on the leaderboard, and I didn't mention this in the barrels, but for all disciplines, number 1 through 4 on the leaderboard go directly into the main event. And then 5 through 64 plus any of the non-winners from the nominate when you're in compete in this leaderboard qualifying round 1 and 2. So that's why it has a 2 and 3 up here, is because both of your runs will be ran back to back. Top 4 fastest times from round 1, top 4 fastest times from round 2, and then top 10 on the aggregate, and we'll fill from the aggregate as well, will then go into this top 18. And any non-winners then that are outside of that top 18 will will go over, they can re-enter, which again is that the $500 re-entry fee into the Open to the World pool. So staying in order, then you have 1 and 2 from this round. Then the Elite 18 is run. That's a clean slate, 1 run, and the top 6 fastest times move into that main event. The bottom 12 from the Elite 18 then trickle over here into the progressive round again. Then next is round 1 and 2 in the Open to the qualifying rounds. And remember, just inside of this qualifier round in the Open to the World is where we'll separate those pro and challenger pools. So from those pools, the top 4 fastest times from round 1, top 4 fastest times from round 2, and top 10 from the aggregate move into the progressive round. And any non-winners then can re-enter the redemption round at that $500 entry fee. Everybody has 1 chance to re-enter, rerun, and try to be in the top 10 that goes into that progressive round. So it'll go these, 5 and 6, these qualifying rounds and Open to the World. Then the redemption round will be run, and then we'll go into the progressive round, where the bottom 12 from the Elite 18, the top 18 from the qualifying rounds, and the top 10 from the redemption round, which I believe, if my math is right, adds up to 40 also. And from those 40, they'll make 1 run, clean slate, top 10 fastest times, then we'll go into the main event, where we'll have the main event, the top 24 will compete, then we'll go down to the top 12 and they'll compete, and then from that 2-head aggregate, the top 6 will compete in that championship round inside of the main event. So again, that is the progression chart for the roping events. All of this can be found at womensrodeoworldchampionship.com. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments or message our team.
Yes. There are a couple more questions. I think I know the answer, but I don't want to answer, Judy. How do you reserve a stall if it's free? Do we go ahead?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So we do have some benefits to entering, and I would like to just share those really quick JD, if you can share my screen.
Absolutely.
So up here on womensrodeoworldchampionship.com, there is what are the benefits of advancing and nominating through the WCRA. So just to Judy's question, those that are 1 through 4 on the leaderboard get 1 complimentary stall. And those that earn that nominate when you're in fast track qualification also receive 1 complimentary stall. And so best thing to do is to reach out to our team at support@WCRArodeo.com, and we will get you taken care of in regards to your stall reservation. And then if you need additional stalls reserved, that's where you need to go to openstalls.com and make those additional reservations. And we'll do our best to help accommodate, of course, getting all of those stalls next to each other and getting you all taken care of. But that's a great question, Judy. And we will, again, as we get closer to the event, we'll start making sure that all of these logistics are handled.
You're welcome, Judy. I didn't do anything, Sammy Joe did, but you're very welcome.
So let's finish just talking about these benefits, because those of you that are nominating and competing in the VRQ to be in that W20, the Women's Rodeo World Championship segment, number 1 through 4 on the leaderboard in each discipline will not pay entry fees, will receive that 1 complimentary stall, and will receive a complimentary 3-night stay at the South Point Arena. Those that earn that fast track qualification into the fast track pool receive, no entry fees and 1 complimentary stall. Then everybody competing in the leaderboard pool, that's number 5 through 64, they receive that 1 complimentary entry fee as well. And again, let's just talk about those entry guidelines. So everybody participating in the leaderboard, advancing through the top 64, you have up to 3 times to enter the Women's Rodeo World Championship. So 1 time on the leaderboard side, where's my finger, and then 2 times in the open to the world side. And in the team roping, we've had a lot of questions about how many times can I pair up with the same person. And so I'm going to go back to this progression chart.
Okay.
So what we have talked about, and again, if you have questions, please let us know. We know this has been a little confusing, but we're doing our best to get it out there correct, right? But for the team roping, it's 1 unique partner through the whole event. Now, let me explain this. So in the fast track, let's just say, JD, we're going to pretend for the moment that you and I are partners at this event, but I know that's not truly capable because you're not a woman. But for the women's event, you and I, we're paired up together in the fast track pool, okay? So let's just say we're 5th. We didn't advance into the main event. Now we're both dropped into the leaderboard pool. So now we're over here. You and I can rope together in the leaderboard pool because we did not advance to the main event. But so then we compete together in the leaderboard pool, and then we advance to the main event. Then we're in, right? We can't compete in the open to the world. At that point, had we entered it, we could, we'd get our entry fees back. But where it gets a little tricky is then if, say, in the leaderboard pool, we didn't advance, we were not in the Elite 18, then we can rope together again in the open to the world and try to advance to the women's event. So 1 unique team in each round can compete, but like you and I, let's just say, could not be entered once together in the leaderboard and twice together in the open to the world and try to compete as the same team, 3 separate times to get into the main event. You do have to pair up with different partners if you're competing in the same round of competition. We're only allowing 1 unique team inside of each round of competition. Does that make sense?
I think so. You could switch ends though, correct? Because
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate,
Yeah, heading and healing we consider two completely separate disciplines. So you can switch ends, and that's a considered two separate teams.
Okay. So can the same exact team, header and healer, compete in the leaderboard side and the open to the world side? Yes or no?
Only if they did not advance, so the leaderboard side happens first.
Right.
And if they did not advance into the main event, then they could compete in the open to the world together.
Okay.
But if they advance into the main event, then they can't compete, together as a team. Once you're in the main event, though, you can't compete in any more of the qualifying round, right? You can only, once you're in, you're in.
So in the team roping, is that the only case that you would be eligible to get your entry fees refunded if you qualify in the WCRA path and you're entered as that exact same team in the open to the world path, but you make the main event in the WCRA side, are you eligible then to get a refund on your fees?
If it's that exact team, yeah.
Okay.
But where, so the refunds is for each individual athlete. So let's also use an example where, say you and I were paired up together in the leaderboard pool, and then you were paired up with another partner in the open to the world pool. And you and I advance into the main event from the leaderboard. Now you leave, you're done. You can't compete in the open to the world anymore. But you had entered with somebody else on the open side. So now whoever you were paired with in the open will have to find somebody eligible that can rope in the open to the world pool and pick them up as a partner to compete with them.
Okay.
So there may be a little bit of broken teams in the team roping because of advancement. And for those of you, like, ultimately, especially in the team roping, you want to enter as many times as you can, right? And every time you have now 3 chances of getting into the main event. And there will be people, there will be some broken team situations, but there'll always be somebody there that you can pick up and rope with that is eligible, is kind of what I'm encouraging everyone to remember.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And then the other, I guess, since we're on the team roping topic and the broken teams, another situation that could happen is, let's say in the fast track pool, we have some girls that
Sammy, I have the pairings chart. Would you like me to show that?
Yeah, we could show that.
Okay.
All I wanted to explain was that in the fast track pool, those 16 headers and healers will pair up together. So here we are, the fast track, which is that second column to the left. There will be partners, the top 16 or up to 16 headers and healers that will pair with each other and compete in 2 rounds. And those top 4 teams advance to the main event. Well, there may be a header in the fast track pool that pairs up with a healer in the fast track pool that advances to the main event, but they were both paired with different people in the WCRA pool, because that's what happens next. And what I wanted to explain, and this doesn't go quite in order of how it will run. So if you want to show my screen again.
Absolutely.
All I'm trying to explain here is that, so from this nominate when you're in, if 2 girls advance into the women's rodeo, into the main event, that were partnered with different people in the leaderboard pool, they can rope in the leaderboard pool as an exhibitionist, is what we're calling it, and potentially, right, help their partner that they were originally paired with in the leaderboard pool advance into the main event. So they would not be roping for progression or advancement. They would just be roping, for money and to help their partner advance into the main event. That's only in the leaderboard side. On the open side, if there's any broken teams, you can't rope as an exhibitionist from the open to the world side. Your partner would be looking for a new partner that's eligible to compete in the open to the world. So again, the intricacies of potentially broken teams, but I would say enter up, and there's always going to be somebody to partner with and rope with.
Absolutely. Do we want to go into upcoming expanded point opportunities? Is that
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Let me share that.
So yes, for those of you paying attention last week, Northern Breakaway Roping Championships and Team Roping Championships, and then also the TRC Finals that was in Stephenville, we applied expanded points at, and it did shake up it added, let me just pull those numbers again because it was amazing. In the breakaway roping, we added 82 new athletes to the leaderboard. In the heading, we added 23, and in the heeling, we added 15. So these expanded points are just giving more people more opportunities to earn points. And so we have a couple upcoming expanded point events. The top one, JD, that I think you're the lime green flyer. That is the fall championships. Because the one you're on right now is the World Series, and we're taking entries. Those are nominate win-your-ins. But in terms of expanded points,
you're right.
The first one for the team roping is this fall championships event. It will include the Open to the World team roping ladies only, which is right there, the Friday event, as well as the WCRA Challenger, which is the 9.5. $1,000 added. These are the event's going to be October 9th through the 11th in Decatur, Texas. Big thanks to Kenny Zamora and Sherry Hamilton putting on these events for us, and just another great opportunity, really a last chance opportunity in the team roping to earn those points. It's going to be expanded, so 20 places in each paid round, which is going to be 4 total rounds, 2 go rounds, finals, and an average. So all 4 rounds, 20 places will earn points. And so again, you don't want to miss this event. You can enter today at entrytool.com. And yeah, definitely make sure this event is on your calendar for all you headers and healers out there. And then JD, if you want to talk about the breakaway roping.
Absolutely. So there are 2, there's one expanded point opportunity. It is a last chance opportunity to get expanded points in the breakaway roping as well. And it is the Chris Neal Kimes Ranch, Oklahoma's Richest, that's going to be at the Lazy E. And it's October 16th through the 18th. But the ladies will be roping on Friday, October 16th. You'll see the very first roping of the day is the WCRA Challenger roping, and it's a 2 and a short, and great opportunity to get expanded points in the Challenger. It is also a fast track, nominate win you're in, or it's a win you're in. So you can earn a spot on that fast track through both the Challenger as well as the Open, which is a $10,000 added. You can see right here, Saturday, October 17th. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Saturday, October 17th is the Total Feeds Open Ladies Breakaway. It's going to be a great roping. Enter one time, 3 head and a short, and you're going to get a fast track win and you're in spot if you win the Open as well. And so this is a brand new roping that Chris added to his lineup of great ropings, and something that's really fun that he's doing. If you haven't seen it on social media, you should go to Rising Stars Facebook page, and Jackie Crawford is going to be roping a match roping, and it's a $5,000 winner take all. And it's a mystery roper, and you get to vote. I think it's down to 3 or so. My girl from South Dakota, Gilbert
Sawyer.
Sawyer Gilbert. Well, I can't remember her name right now. Sawyer didn't make the cut, even though I was really voting for her. But I think Josie Connor is still in the running, and there's some Shelby Bosley maybe's in there. I haven't looked in the last couple of days, but it's a really great concept. So you get to vote for who's going to get to rope Jackie, and then Shad Mayfield is going to rope Haven Medjid. On Saturday, the ladies, Jackie and whoever she's going to rope is going to rope during the open tie down, men's tie down roping on Sunday at the intermission, I think maybe right before the short round of that. So again, it's a great opportunity for expanded points, as Sammy Joe articulated. In all paid go rounds, you're going to be able to earn points 20 deep, and you can go to entrytool.com. The books close on all of these ropings September 30th. So you got to get in there. They're open right now. Get in there and get entered.
Yeah.
There's one more. You want to talk about
let's talk about the last. So let's go to that World Series. So then we also have these last chance. They're also the nominate when you're in, or the fast track qualifiers, as we're liking to call them now, to earn, that spot into the fast track pool. And so for the barrel racing, again, this is a Kenny Zamora event, World Series of barrel racing, goat tying, and breakaway roping. And so let me look at my notes here. For the barrel racing, October 10th will be that event in Decatur, Texas. And then the breakaway roping will also be on Decatur as well. It's the last chance qualifier and the open. And so they're on October 8th, 2 and a short. And all of these events as well, you can enter at entrytool.com. You'll be in the running to win that nominate when you're in, because your nomination is included in the entry fee. And so don't miss any of these opportunities. Get them on your calendar now. So
fantastic.
And then in the team roping, we talked about that fall championship. There were a couple more. If you'll pull up my screen, JD, if you don't mind. If you go to that women's rodeo world championship.com, you can go to these. Let me go to the top here where it says nominate when you're in. Look at all the events we had. So yeah, if you click this nominate when you're in here, you can see the events we've had and the winners that have come from them. And you can scroll down now that we're getting to the end of it and see the last ones remaining. So Stockyards Rodeo, the 18th and 19th in Fort Worth for the barrel racing, the Revolutionary Barrel Race, it's the warm-up race, the 2D and the 4D, all happening in Glen Rose over September 18th and 19th. And then the MBHA race in Waco on September 25th. And then lastly, that World Series that we just looked at, the Kenny Zamora, Sherry Hamilton event in Decatur, Texas, October 10th. That's your last chance. So make sure you're heading to those, and you can scroll down and see the breakaway. And I was getting there. Yep, the last one too. Our last breakaway is Stockton Graves event, Rope for the Roses. And this is also available at entrytool.com. The event is October 18th in Alva, Oklahoma. And this one too, you can win that fast track qualification. Points are up for grabs. So these I do in the breakaway roping. So the cutoff to earn points is October 11th, but we've added these last chance for Chris Neal and Stockton Graves events. So the leaderboard for the breakaway roping will not be final until we complete these events on October 18th. Then entries will open October 20th through the 22nd for those that get into that top 64.
Whew.
Whew.
There's
So
a lot going on. And we're not done. I think we got a couple more things to cover. Or do we?
I mean, I'm sure we do.
Yeah. Thank you all for hanging with us. By all means, if you know anybody that have any questions or has any questions regarding how to qualify, when you're going to compete, how the open path works, how you enter the open path, just remember entrytool.com. You can go right now and enter the open. You can enter it twice in addition to your leaderboard, your WCRA leaderboard competition. It's actually in addition to the fast track competition if you have a fast track spot. So my goodness, there's just all kinds of opportunity to earn a spot in the main event, the top 24, competing again in Las Vegas at the South Point Arena, November 3rd through the 7th. Sammy Jo, thank you so much for coming back and getting your computer rebooted and plugged in, because I was like panicking.
No, I'm sorry that happened. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with us. And I do want to tease just a couple exciting announcements for next week. Our team is currently working on an athlete bulletin board where we're going to start promoting important announcements, new releases. We want you to have a one-stop shop for anything you need to know about when it comes to our upcoming events, our leaderboards, everything. So be on the lookout. Next week, we're going to hopefully release that for all of you. And again, these are great lives. I think we're sharing some really important information. So please share it, tell your friends about it, and continue to join us every Wednesday.
Yeah, and we appreciate you. And I agree with you, Nancy. We need more WCRA events that you can nominate and get a spot on the leaderboard to the Women's Rodeo World Championships in Arizona. So Mr. Rob Smets, if you're watching this live stream, get to work, brother. We got to have some events out there. Just teasing. Kind of.
Absolutely. Anyway. And those of you that aren't already entered in the Open to the World pools or are going to be entering today, just know the cutoff for earnings to be a pro or a challenger was today. And so we're going to start the process now of verifying who is a challenger, who is a pro, and what pools you're going into. So just know that's coming as well.
Great. Oh, this is great. Rob, you're getting called out. You have just been called out. Thanks, Nancy. Great job, Sammy Jo. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Share it, like it, comment it, all of that fun stuff. And we'll be back to you next week. Thanks,
everybody. Rob is
watching. Yes. Get to work, Rob. Let's go.
Thanks for all your hard work, Rob. We love you.
Rob. All right. Thanks, Nancy. See y'all later. This is great. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.